I got a critique recently on my channel that said that I was unintentionally unrelatable because I wasn't giving advice that was helpful for single income families and stay-at-home moms of young children. And I gotta say, that might be fair. That is just not the stage of life that I'm at right now. I'm not a single income family with young children. My children are all teenagers and they're leaving the house now, which feels like a really weird place to be, but it is my current experience. That being said, I was at one time a single income household with young children. I was reminiscing with a good friend of mine about those early days. Just a couple of days ago, we were Marco Poloing together and we were talking about all of the things that we used to do to save money. I thought it might be fun to take it back to those days when I was a stay-at-home mom of young children in a single income household, because I have been there, I have done it, I understand the struggles. So even though today I have teenagers and maybe that's not your circumstance, perhaps the money saving tips will be helpful anyway. In most people's budgets, the number one biggest expense after their housing is food. So my friends, I have so many videos on my channel about how to save money on food, how to save money on groceries, how to save money by cooking at home, by not going out to eat. And I don't want to repeat all of those tips right now, but what I can tell you, especially if you are a stay-at-home parent who has the time to learn some basic cooking skills, and buying ingredients only and cooking things from scratch will save you so much money, and the food will be more satiating, like you'll be full for longer. It's really hard to describe if you've never tried it before. And what I love about social media now is there's recipes literally everywhere. I have some friends that are like, if you don't meal plan from TikTok, what are you doing with your life? There's recipe books and websites and YouTube videos and Instagram reels, and pick your social media platform of preference and there's inspiration for you. Now, back in the day, my grocery budget was $25 a week. I held that budget all the way through probably 2010. Yeah, groceries were cheaper back then, 100%. But $25 a week, I spent $100 a month on groceries for my family of 4 and then 5. And I was meticulous about the things that I purchased. I walked around the store with a calculator because we didn't have smartphones yet back then. So I had a little calculator where I added everything up. I never bought cheese because we couldn't afford it. I didn't buy bacon. I pretty much stuck with like ground turkey and chicken, and I would specifically choose meals where it wasn't like a piece of chicken and a salad. It would be a stir fry, so I could take one chicken breast, cut it up really small, and then distribute it between like all the veggies served over rice with the sauce, so I could extend out my protein to feed the family. I've lived in places with one grocery store that's very expensive, and those were all of my options. I just did the best I could. I tried to be creative and I made freaking everything from scratch. Everything. Noodles, granola, bread, biscuits, pancakes. I didn't buy mixes for anything. I made as much as I could from home to save as much money as possible, and I did. Now, even though we didn't have a ton of money to do, I don't know, fun stuff, something that was really important to us, especially as a stay-at-home mom with young children, is to secure life insurance as early as we were financially able. So by cutting out like going out to eat or maybe concerts or whatever it is, or not buying new shoes every couple of months, we were able to afford life insurance, which gave us huge peace of mind. Me particularly, like heaven forbid something would have happened to Dave and I had no income and children to take care of. So it was something that we put in place in 2009, and we've had it the entire time since. So what's awesome is Fabric by Gerber Life is sponsoring today's video, and if you haven't secured life insurance for your family, I highly recommend picking up some term life insurance, and Fabric can totally help you out with that. So Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance that you can get done today. It is made for busy parents like you, all online and on your schedule. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. So if you have anyone at all, depending on your income, a spouse or children or whatever, I highly recommend term life insurance. It's really inexpensive, and the younger you are, the lower the rates will be. However, what I've noticed is over time, the rates continue to stay low. So this is how we work it. We get a 20-year policy, and we'll lock in the 20-year policy, and then after about 10 years, we'll just research and see what the rates are. We've done this 2 times so far, and every time we've done it, the rates are either the same or lower for more coverage. So we cancel the previous one, get a new 20-year, and we're good. Fabric has flexible, high quality policies that fit your family and your budget. Like you could get up to $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day. What? It is your one-stop shop for free digital wills, access to investment accounts to invest in your kids' future. Plus, you can manage it all right here from home from your phone. So join the thousands of parents that trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/frugalfitmom. It is the first link down in the doobly-doo below. That's meetfabric, M-E-E-T, fabric.com/frugalfitmom. First link in the blue. Thanks to Fabric for sponsoring. Well, let's get back to the rest of the money saving tips. Okay, next up is subscriptions. So fair, back in 2006, we didn't have subscriptions like there are today. I can't believe how many subscriptions exist. You could do music from Spotify and Pandora and Amazon Music Unlimited, TV services, beauty boxes that get sent to your house, whatever it is that you have a subscription for. Maybe it's dog treats for your dog, whatever. We just didn't have those back then, and those can add up. I might challenge you just to go through your subscriptions, add them all up, look at them. You can even use services that can help you do this. You don't even have to cancel them. Just pause them for like a month or two and see how it goes. See if your life is that much different. I suspect it's not gonna be that much different. When it came to TV back then, we just had the bunny ears, and I think I got 4 channels, and I knew for a fact that Friends reruns came on at 4 p.m. every single day. So I watched Friends reruns.
What do we have?
And I did have an N64 that we got off of eBay, and I played Super Mario Brothers and Mario Kart like a boss. Because sometimes as a stay-at-home mom with young children, during nap time, you just need something a little mindless. I also spent a ton of time at the library. Once a week, I would take my kids in the stroller and we would walk to the library, and I would check out DVDs and books, and we would do story time for the kids. I watched a ton of movies that I checked out for free, and I read a ton of books that I borrowed for free. And I hung out with friends, and back in those days, we didn't even have the internet at our house yet. So I spent a lot of my time taking my kids to the park, hanging out with friends. I joined a mom play group. So once or twice a week, we got together with other moms, and the kids would play at the park and the moms would chat. It was a lifesaver as a mom of young children. It didn't cost anything. I got to socialize with other moms and not lose myself in the process of taking care of toddlers and babies. Okay, so what about going out to eat? I'm not lying to you when I say we did not go out to eat. End stop.
Period.
No fast food, no sit-down restaurants. I didn't go buy a soda. I didn't go buy a fountain drink from the gas station. Nothing. We didn't go to the movies. We didn't go to concerts. If it cost money, we didn't do it. I don't know how to emphasize that enough. We just didn't have the cash. Instead, we found community-free events, and I guarantee you, you have them. You just have to go to like city of fill in the blank of wherever it is that you live, and you'll have free local musician concerts. You can go to farmers markets and walk around. You don't have to buy anything. You can just go be with the people. We would take the kids to parks. We would go on walks. We would go feed ducks. I think we had a couple of like hand-me-down bikes. So we would like kind of do family bike rides on these, you know, kind of rusty bikes that barely worked, but who cares? Like, we got to go outside and it was fun. We even had some friends at the same time. They loved to go out to eat, but they had older kids, so built-in babysitters, and we didn't have the money to pay for babysitters, so we never got to go out with them when they wanted to go out to eat. But they were a little tight with money at one time, and so they cut out the going out to eat, and we did game night instead. So we would get board games. I don't recommend Risk. That's a good way to file for divorce.
True words were never spoken.
But we would get a big group together and we would play games together instead of going out to eat. So we could still have social time with our friends. We didn't have to hire a babysitter because we hosted it at my house, and didn't spend a dime and still had a great time. Clothes. Children grow really, really quickly. Babies and toddlers, they grow really fast. Here's how I navigated saving money in that topic. First of all, I relied heavily on hand-me-downs and garage sales. Thrift stores were not it for me. I never really found great deals at thrift stores, but I feel like my kids were clothed exclusively in like Old Navy and Children's Place because they run the best sales. A couple times a year, they'll do a 50% off, all clearance. And so I would go in and I could get brand new pants, brand new shirts for like $1.50, $2.50 each. And I would get enough to get my kids through the week or whatever. And we'd be done until they started growing out of things. And I have 3 boys. So yeah, I saved everything, passed it down to the next kid. I scored at garage sales. What a find. I think today you could probably maybe do some Facebook Marketplace. If you have a good thrift store in your area, I would check them out. Like, I don't have great thrift stores where I live, but I would also talk to your neighbor. You probably have a community Facebook page or a neighborhood Facebook page where people are like, oh, I'm clearing this out, I don't want to mess with it. And you can do some trades, exchanges to save as much money as possible on clothing. And then for myself, like, I just didn't buy clothes.
Well, I'm serious.
I think for 10 years I didn't buy clothes. I wore the same jeans I had in high school for like 10 years. I had a couple of t-shirts because I would like go run some 5Ks or I would go do a bike ride and they'd hand me free t-shirts and I would just wear those t-shirts. Now, I know it sounds like we weren't living a very fun life, basically doing nothing and buying nothing. Cooking everything from scratch, and it's tight and it's hard. But what's great about that, we had a short-term goal, financial goal. So what we were able to do is live off of 50% of the take-home income and save the other 50%. And we only did it for a little over a year or so to really stockpile our savings to get us our financial goal. You know, X is going to be the goal. We're going to cut back really, really tight in order to accomplish X. And this could be whatever you want it to be. It could be a down payment for a house. It could be a new car. It could be a vacation, home remodel. Maybe you're having a baby, whatever it is. You have X, you have this goal, and you agree together to work toward this goal. And then you accomplish the goal, and then you don't have to be that tight anymore. Like, once you've checked the box, you can move on into other stuff. But what's cool is in the process of doing this, you've learned a lot about yourself. I don't need to go out to eat to have a rich life. For me, that's not that important. It also helps that I don't have super high quality restaurants where I live, so it's not a huge temptation. I don't live in a big city where there's like all these fun things to try, which leads into one of the other pieces is you can cut the expenses of things that don't matter to you in order to then push money into purchasing things or experiences of the things that do matter to you. So you can have whatever you want. You just can't have every single thing that you want. So pick the things that are the most important and funnel your energy towards that thing and cut everything else. And so for us in the beginning, it was buying our own house, which took a ton of sacrifice. And then we got into the house and realized that home ownership comes with a lot more expenses that we didn't realize, like buying a lawnmower, which we didn't have, buying window coverings, which we didn't have. And then if you have a water leak, you've got a several $100 water bill coming in, which you were not anticipating. And then you sit on the floor and cry because you don't know how you're gonna pay for it. But all those were learning experiences to teach us a huge difference between needs and wants and what kind of life I really wanted, what that looked like. As I was talking to my friend on Marco Polo, we were talking about our tax returns because we had both recently like dug through old paperwork and we had found these old tax returns from the early days of our marriage. And I think one of her early ones was $15,000 for the year. I remember our very first one, the very, very first one, I think we were still in college. Between the two of us was like $8,000 for the year. You know, we're talking to our parents about that and they're like, how did you live? Like, how did you live on $8,000 for the entire year? We just did. Like, we didn't have a choice. That's just what, it's just the way the cookie crumbled, I guess, back then. But what it did was make us work really hard so we had more money to play with. And for us, that looks like moving across the country a few times to try and find better paying jobs, getting more education so we would be more hireable. It's a little different these days than it was in the 2000s. Like, college degrees mattered a lot more back then, I think, than they do now. So I don't know that that's a requirement anymore, but we looked at the opportunity. Like, what could we do to make more money? Is it moving jobs? Is it learning a skill? Is it putting ourselves out there? Yes, yes, and yes. And so we went for that all of the time. We did the side hustles. I started working from home. I babysat out of my home. I taught college online. I donated plasma for grocery money. Whatever we could do to bring in a few extra dollars in addition to our money saving skills. And boom, we were able to accomplish our financial goals when we had small children, when I was a stay-at-home mom and we were a one-income family. I have a couple of other videos on money saving hacks and tips if you want to check them out. It's these right here and then these right here. I'll leave them below if you want to go see other ways. I try and save as much money as possible so I have the freedom to create memories with my family, because to me, that's living a rich life. Thanks for hanging out. Christine out. But wait, there's more. In this video, I talked a whole lot about things I did when my kids were really small because it's not something I share on the channel anymore because my kids aren't small anymore. So let me jump ahead to now. So my children now are 13, 16, 18, and 20. My second kid is graduating from high school in 1 week. I have successfully raised, are you ever really done? I don't think so. 2 of 4 children. And I'm feeling all of the things. I'm feeling some kind of way about it. It is the greatest privilege of my life to be able to spend every day with these amazing kids that I get to be a mom to. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's the only thing I want to do. As I have my eldest son, because my daughter graduated last time, graduate and start to, leave the nest and go about his new adventures solo without me there every day. I feel all of the things. And in these last moments of him being at the house and seeing him come in and joking with him and hanging out with him, I sit and watch sometimes with a smile on my face and joy in my heart that I get to be a part of his life and that he gets to be a part of mine. He was able to do senior prom like a week ago, and it was so much fun watching him go out with his friends and have a good time and be safe, and I just love it so much. So if you're in the baby, toddler, young children era and you can't see past it because it's exhausting, it's physically exhausting and all consuming, and it feels like you'll never be you again. I know it feels that every day is painfully the same and it will never change. I promise you, just hang on, because it will. And you will get past it, and you'll get to see these amazing personalities come out of these tiny little kids. They're gonna become your best friends, and you're gonna be thrilled that you were able to be there for all of it. I just wanted to give you a little bit of hope. If you're there in the thick of it with the little ones, I've been there, man. I totally get it. It's rough, but the years are fast. They really, really are. Just hang in there. So I gotta go because I have to go soak in the last few weeks of Andrew being around the house. I'll see you next time.